Hey yo, what is up guys, it's your boy Tware, and this will be a video on the new challenge rate Kallax and how his mechanics actually work. Now, if you don't adhere these mechanics, you will die. That's why a lot of people have been complaining because I don't think people read. Now, there's a very nifty way on how to beat this guy, and we can cheese this out. I will show you in a video later, but let's go over to some skills. Now, this is just the Blast Impaler. I would call this his auto attacking phase. It does stun and it can mess you over, but then again, if you have like Shay on S2, like on a trance, you will not get stunned. So having a Shay at 5 star is actually really good. Is it necessary? Actually, it is not, but you will get stunned otherwise. So that means you gotta do more damage, more healing at the same time, which can get rough. So I would still recommend a 4 or a 5 star Shay. Overwhelming power. Now this is one of the buffs that you can easily recognize. Like the animation is really similar to Chase's S2, where he just stomps on the ground and then fire like in between him. And this is one of the things that you have to dispel. Simply because if you don't, he will be gaining buffs on the shred, and well, if you don't do that, he will hurt you a lot. Now onto his next is the time for judgment. Now this has a big red screen on the bar on like your screen saying that, oh my god, he's gonna leave. After that point, he will either buff himself or he's gonna buff or debuff your team. Now this will automatically result into like a dispel of of anything that your team is currently doing, and it will give you the draconic judgment. And short notice, like if you fail it once to cancel it, it will get a defense increase. Second time it will do an attack buff, and the third time it will kill your whole team. Now this is something that you want to avoid, and there's a very easy way to do it, because you can look at your screen, have just either debuff or buff yourself, but that means you gotta pop a skill, right? Now we chose to get Lucius instead because his S2 both debuffs and cleanses your whole team. Now with just one single skill, you can counteract this whole mechanic, which is crazy. And now for the last and final mechanic that you need to be aware of is a flaming blaze. Now the moment you hit 66 and 33%, he will start breathing fire. After that point, it will diminish like a lot of your HP and a lot of your mana. Now what happens is, if you don't debuff this one, then you will receive after 10 seconds, I feel, the Calamity Flare, and this thing will really kill you. Like, healing becomes less, no more lifesteal and whatsoever. Now there's a very nifty strat to this. A lot of people, for what I saw so far, use Lias into Shay because of mana recovery. But then again, what you can also use is Audi. Audi on S3 with the light perk will give your whole team 6 mana. So if you just get Audi there, do no damage with that guy, and just S3, you can counteract this mechanic. So now let's show you guys what this actually looks like. But before that, one of the masks that actually works on this one is the draconic one. So let's get it popping. Alrighty guys, let's get it popping. Now just a note and a little disclaimer is we perform this on hard mode. Reason why: we don't have a high star Diana. Currently hers is just a 2-star, and we had no guildies up that were doing anything. So for starters, I start off with Yuno's S2 just to shield Loma, because he gets very early on big hits to his face, never liking that. Afterward he will jump, and I wait a little bit before performing the S1 of Yuno, then straight up changing to the Hell form because he popped his buff, and now I can change back once again. Now Audi, I'm pressing skills on him. It's absolutely unnecessary because he does absolutely no damage. But a thing that I really want to point out is, and I will point it out once again after the boss does his flame breath, is whenever you use Audie's S3, which is the full mana gain, you should never perform a skill afterward with any of the other characters. Reason why: it takes about half a second or maybe even a second for the game to register that all of your people have full mana. So it's one of the biggest tips where people are like, oh my god, but I had full mana, why did I still receive the buff? Well, that is why the game does not register the full mana instantaneously, which is a little bit crazy, so you gotta work with that, right? So on to the rotation after the leap, once again changing up to hell mode so I can debuff him. It's a very, very easy rotation, guys. So I'm waiting a few more auto attacks, once again changing up. Here we got the fire breath. I predicted that, so I made sure that my Yuno was able to cleanse the whole team. And there we go, pop the S3 and basically counteract the mechanic. So once again, change to the hell mode simply because he's gonna buff himself up. Waiting with the dispel, changing up to my other form, and making sure that my Loman actually gets the buff. So I'm checking his HP bar to see it go lower, because the shield will actually be popped to the lowest character. Lucius S2 being popped the moment this guy jumps straight off, changing up to hell mode. Now I could wait with hell mode, honestly, because whenever he does this skill, he will stun me automatically. Now if I wait with my changing to hell mode, that makes it easier for me to change back and forth and instantly dispel. Is it necessary? I'm not quite sure, because in this manner I can change back to the cooking mode and pop the shield whenever necessary. So in all fairness, look at this. This is so linear, and with a 2-star Yana, it's so easy. With this setup, like Elias has a 0-star. Yuno has a 3-star. Don't get me wrong, that one is sick. Lucius has a 0-star. Loman has a 0-star unique weapon. Audie has a 2-star unique weapon. So in terms of investment, it is really, really easy to get through the whole phases. So Lucius not popping his S2, making that the whole team receives a small cooldown. But I saved up my S1 on Yuno to debuff the whole team, or cleanse the whole team, so my Audie could perform the S3. And the rest is just easy mode, same mechanic whatsoever. Now one of the artifacts that I would say is necessary is the Solar Stone. This guy heals himself up and you want to diminish that. If you on top of that actually get the perk of Archers, then you can 100% reduce his healing. Now one of the things that I gotta note is Lucius is a mid-range healer. He does get attacked by Kallax. And if you perform Hell, which we've done before, you need a little bit of M defense on him. If you don't have that, that will become problematic. But if you get Loman on high M defense and get the right perks on T5 Dark, then at that point you will be receiving a lot whenever Loman blocks. If you have a good Elias, you will get a lot of attack into M defense for the whole team with a good unique weapon. So there are many ways to save your team with just a little bit of investment. So yeah, that was the run, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and this was Twebby for now. Peace.